When tensions rise in the Middle East, most people see headlines and move on. But for small business owners, especially in 2025, these international tremors can hit closer to home than you think. The recent escalation of tensions between Iran and several Western nations has done more than rattle global diplomacy. It has sent a shockwave through oil markets, and that means ripple effects for shipping costs, product pricing, and overall economic sentiment. The key is not to panic, but to understand the mechanics, prepare strategically, and position your business to adapt and even thrive in this volatile landscape. This is not about politics. It is about profit, protection, and preparation. Let us walk through what is happening, why it matters to your small business, and how you can turn this into an opportunity instead of a setback. Because when the world gets uncertain, the smartest entrepreneurs double down on clarity. Why Iran tensions spike oil prices, and what that means for you. First, let us break down the relationship between Iran and oil. Iran is one of the world's largest oil producers and a major player in the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow passage through which nearly a third of the world's seaborne oil passes. When Iran is at odds with global powers or threatens to block this strategic waterway, oil prices spike. It is a basic principle of supply and fear. When something essential becomes uncertain, its price surges. But how does this global commodity drama affect your small business? Start with fuel. Transportation companies, logistics providers, and anyone who relies on shipping goods, whether across the country or from overseas, will feel the pinch. Higher fuel prices mean higher delivery costs. If you sell physical products, manufacture with imported materials, or depend on delivery services like FedEx, UPS, or even local couriers, expect those costs to inch up. The pain does not stop there. Oil prices affect everything from plastic production to packaging to airline fares. Even digital businesses may find freelancers and suppliers adjusting their pricing to reflect inflationary pressures. The cost of doing business, no matter your industry, creeps upward when oil goes up. Now, most big corporations hedge their fuel costs, but small businesses, not so much. And that is why understanding what triggers these increases is critical. You cannot control oil prices or global politics, but you can control your response, the hidden inflation threat, and how to beat it before it hits your bottom line. When oil prices rise, inflation often follows. And inflation is not just a buzzword economists throw around. It directly hits your wallet and your customers. If you are not adjusting your pricing, renegotiating vendor terms, or rethinking your supply chain, you are playing defense while others are planning offense. Inflation driven by oil spikes is especially tricky. It is not immediate like a supply chain disruption or a power outage. It is more like a slow leak in your profit margins. Shipping costs go up a few dollars per package. Material suppliers add a small surcharge. Your printing company hikes their fees slightly. Each change seems minor, but over a year, the loss compounds. So how do you fight it? First, audit your vendors and suppliers right now. Who is most vulnerable to rising oil costs? Can you renegotiate your contract or switch to someone local to reduce reliance on long-distance shipping? Second, build cost awareness into your pricing model. Too many entrepreneurs set a price and stick to it for years. But when macroeconomic forces shift, your margins must adjust. Do not be afraid to raise prices strategically. Customers understand that global instability leads to cost increases. They just want transparency and value in return. Third, communicate with your customers. Be proactive. A simple message like, due to rising transportation costs from global oil increases, we are making a small adjustment to ensure continued quality and service, builds trust. The worst thing you can do is suffer silently while your competitors get ahead by adapting faster. Opportunities in chaos. How to profit from the oil price surge. Here is the truth the media rarely emphasizes. Volatility creates opportunity. When other businesses panic, freeze, or pull back, that is your chance to step forward. Oil price increases do not just cause pain, they also create gaps and demand shifts that nimble businesses can exploit. For instance, if you are in logistics, delivery, or transportation, consider adjusting your service offerings. Bundle services to offset higher costs, or introduce premium options that justify price hikes. If you have a fleet of vehicles, Now is the time to look at electric alternatives or biofuel incentives. Government subsidies in response to high oil prices can make green transitions more affordable. If you are in e-commerce, think about sourcing more products locally. This not only reduces your exposure to international shipping volatility, but also plays well with consumers who increasingly value sustainability and domestic support. For service-based businesses, offer flexible options to clients who may be facing cost constraints of their own. Instead of losing a customer entirely, downgrade them to a lower-tier package and keep the relationship alive. And if you are in any industry where virtual services can replace in-person ones, like consulting, training, or coaching, lean into that. Rising fuel and travel costs make remote work more attractive again. Position yourself as the cost-effective, time-saving alternative to expensive travel, heavy operations, the global stage, and the local play. Why small businesses need to think bigger. Too many entrepreneurs believe international politics are for big companies, while they focus on local issues. That is a dangerous mindset in 2025. The world is more connected than ever. A skirmish across the world can drive prices at your local gas station or impact your supplier's timeline. Global awareness is no longer a luxury. It is a survival skill. Staying informed about Iran tensions, OPEC decisions, or U.S. sanctions is not about being a foreign policy expert. It is about reading the economic weather so you can plan your business accordingly. You do not have to track every headline, but you should follow oil market forecasts, understand what events affect prices, and build a basic playbook for what to do when prices rise above certain thresholds. You can even use this knowledge to deepen relationships with your clients and community. Host a webinar or live Q&A where you share what you are doing to stay ahead of the market. Transparency builds loyalty. Clients do not expect perfection, but they do respect preparedness. This global, local connection is also where thought leadership is born. When you are the business owner who can link economic trends to actionable insights, you position yourself as someone people trust, not just to deliver a product, but to navigate uncertainty with confidence. Your action plan? Survive, adapt, and win. Let us get practical. You cannot stop geopolitical tension. You cannot predict every oil price fluctuation, but you can implement a framework to make sure your business bends without breaking. First, identify your exposure. Where do fuel costs show up in your supply chain, operations, or pricing model? Map it out. Awareness is power. Second, adapt your pricing. Build in room for volatility. Offer bundled or tiered services. Be transparent and strategic with increases. Third, communicate constantly. Let customers and suppliers know what is changing and why. Build allies, not surprises. Fourth, seek local and digital alternatives. The less you rely on long-haul shipping and oil-sensitive infrastructure, the more control you have over your costs. Fifth, stay informed, but not paralyzed. You do not need to watch oil tickers all day, but a weekly check-in on energy markets or trusted economic briefings can keep you ahead of the curve. Finally, reframe chaos as opportunity. In every market disruption, there are winners. The entrepreneurs who anticipate shifts, respond with courage, and position themselves with clarity. Those are the ones who not only survive but scale. The tension with Iran may not end soon. Oil prices may continue to rise and fall. But your business does not need to live at the mercy of those fluctuations. Use this moment to build systems, set smarter prices, and rethink how you deliver value. This is the era of agile entrepreneurship. The ones who win will not be the biggest. They will be the most aware, the most flexible, and the most prepared. And if you found this breakdown useful, make sure to stick around, because our next video will show you how to bulletproof your business finances even during recession scares. This is not the time to retreat. This is the time to get sharper